Alright, what is good? Today we got some longs off NQ this morning, and I'm gonna show y'all the setup that I used to catch these longs. This setup that I used this morning is a setup that I'm trying to gather more data on and backtest, and so I'm trying to turn this setup and hopefully brand it into something. I don't know, because I really want to officialize this as an actual system or model or whatever you call it. And I'm gonna just show y'all real quick. Hopefully it's some sauce for y'all, but let me know if you know anyone else that uses this same entry or the same setup, because I haven't seen something like this before, but I kind of want to structure it better and have just more formation to it. All right, let's just get into it. Going into the day, I believe, so going into the day, I had a long bias because we were in discount of yesterday's daily range, as well as we got swept out Asia and London lows, and we swept out a bunch of liquidity just from the rest of this week, sell side liquidity. So I was instantly looking for longs, and I'm gonna replay right now, but I'm just gonna show y'all. We had this huge, what was it, like a 1 hour S&T? Yeah, 1 hour, 4 hour, whatever it is. Huge S&T on ES and NQ. NQ had failed to sweep this low, but NQ, or ES came down. What is this? Oh yeah, we swept this right here. So huge S&T on the higher time frame, as well as I had drawn out this OTE from this swing high and swing low. And with this OTE, we had a 4 hour aligning with the golden range. And so with that 4 hour and the golden range, I was looking to long off that area. We also tapped directly into the 0.7, which is just this white line right here. We tapped that. I was looking for a reversal off that for a price to push higher. But since it's super high time frame, it's pretty hard to time entries like that, right? So what I was really looking for was a change in state, maybe a smaller OTE, and then a fair value gap that opens with the change in state. And so if we come forward here, see, yeah, this is just before market open. It's like 7:15. Market open for me is 7:30. Yeah, we come forward. Market hasn't opened yet. It's about 7:20 something. So like 10 minutes or so before market open, I see that we had the S&T. We're tapping into the high time frame OTE, as well as I wanted to see us respect and rebalance the 4 hour after filling out the gap. So came down here and looked on the 1 minute and saw that we had a sweep of liquidity right here and a possible change in state. We reversed off of that, came back up, closed past the change in state. After closing past, we came back down and had a retracement into the change in state range. That's where I drew this OTE. And we also had this fair value gap created after the displacement. So we reversed off the change in state, closed past it, but while closing, off this displacement right here, closing past the change in state, we created a fair value gap, and that's a part of the model that I use, which pretty much validates the change in state almost like 100% of the time. And so, yeah, we retraced back down, retapped the change in state, but off the swing high and then the swing low here, that's where I drew this OTE and waited for us to hit equilibrium of the range. This really small range right here. It's not small, it's like 40 points. But yeah, so we hit EQ, tapped into the fair value gap. That's where I entered, a little bit like right here, a little bit higher than I probably could have. Yeah, and I targeted, well, I risked 60 ticks. I had a soft TP, which I just manually closed, but I had an alert at about 100 ticks, so like somewhere right here. I didn't send automatic TP, but I waited to see how New York Open would react, and that's right here on this candle that my mouse is on. But yeah, volatility pushed us up higher, and I TP'd at around 240 ticks. And yeah, price was pretty much bullish for the rest of the day, just super choppy. But that's really it. That's the model that I'm currently working on, forming and officializing. Let me know if you've seen anyone use this kind of setup before, because you have to use, obviously, hard time frame context, like I had before, which was, what lows are we sweeping, what liquidity have we, what gaps could we retrace back into to fill, and are we in premium or discount, right? That's high time frame context, and it has to kind of line up with a bigger range OTE. So like this one right here, there has to be an imbalance that lines up with OTE, and then you zoom in on lower time frames and use a change in state, OTE, and fair value gap to just really time the actual reversal. If we look at the rest of price action after, we technically still respected these PD rates, but that's what pushes up higher over time. But yeah, also, the reason I TP'd right here and didn't well, first of all, I didn't try to hold it any longer because I didn't really risk that much. This is about the same that I risk on every trade, like 60 to 80 ticks, so it's like 300 to 400. And so yeah, price would have came down and stopped me out at break even right here, something like that. But I mean, my target was already 1 to 4. I already had 1 to 4 hours, so no reason for me to hold and try to get any more out of it. I caught a piece of the movement. And then, main reason why this actually came back down is because of this 15-minute gap right here that we entered right at New York Open. That's why I kind of, where is it? Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, right here. This 15-minute gap right here, that's what initially pushed us lower after I TP'd. So that's why I also didn't hold this much longer, because we had this gap. I figured it's too risky to hold, and I was right, so that was good. Only thing with this model is just be careful of any opposing confluences or PD arrays. So any gaps, inverse value gaps, maybe relative equal highs that line up with any gaps. But yeah, I'm going to keep backtesting this, see how many times this shows up throughout the month, see which sessions this presents itself the most. And that's really it. It looks really good so far. It worked this morning. So that's it for now.